So today I want to go into more stuff that I have down here that I really don't want to venture into, but keep interest in minds going. So what is this specifically? It is like I've said before, it's a rogue company type game mode or Overwatch. Just you select a class, they do whatever. So this weapon 3 to 4 damage, armor based on the average, so it'd be its minimum. So in minimum or maximum, that one over there, the Dozer kit, as max armor over average, and this has minimum because it has no armor, the only kit with that. And ability, it's splash invisibility. This one over here, weapon 2 damage, knockback, armor average, medium, ability nulls, enemy side, prep time. That is what I want to go over. Prep time. The ability, I allow in this type of game for enemies to spawn in. They get 10 seconds for these two kits to spawn in whatever, especially the EMP, which was said before, nulls the enemy's prep time, which is the next 20 seconds of getting in here and using these other two abilities. Silence, like I said before, splashes invisibility in this yellow zone from a dispenser above or dropper. This right here is another ability from the Dozer kit, Earthquake, shoots blocks from the floor. And then Frozo, this ability, which shoots slowness from this one, and that dropper, which would shoot slowness on the enemy side, ES, Echo Sierra, I don't care what you want to call it, and it would just slow them for the time being. Now, how would you do a prep time system? So right over here, it will all be on pink color. Prep time. Prep time begins. I click that, and I'll go through the little redstone bit. Goes into a little comparator. Really doesn't mean shit. I just like my comparators, don't judge me. Goes down on this redstone feed, feeds into a repeater to reset the how much reds. Resets the, what would you say redstone do? The fucking repeater does. Resets the redstone count, the dust count, ability of output into this holding chamber. Active chamber. I'll call it that, active chamber. Which you can clearly see is pretty fucking long. In total, should be around 30-ish seconds. And then feeds into this, which then waits a few seconds. And this one opens up after 10 seconds. This waits about 10 seconds and opens up that little door that's in the inside. This would be your reset system. Yes. We'll go into that later. So now that we have prep time beginning, you would have your EMP. You have 10 seconds to put that EMP in, which activates this comparator, detects by a 1-for-1 system. One goes in. What's that one go through by powering off this torch for a second, feeds the EMP through. It also detects this redstone dust into this repeater, activating into this Then throughout the beloved system, powering, putting this block over the redstone torch, powering into this, into more comparators, and then starting it at a hold. And then when I press that whole that prep time, this will be activated into this block right here, powers into this, goes on both sides, opening up this block right here onto here and holding that in station for whenever an EMP drops. Then once the enemy side, any of the teams drop their EMP, it'll go into this holding cycle to hold their door down until that until that time is nullified, which would be the rest of the 20 seconds. Then it would go up into here, into this little reset system. But that's not the main thing we need to worry about right now. On over here, going into this block. This redstone dust will power into this bedrock, which shoots up the piston. The piston shoots up the glass block into this other piston, so this door will not open. And then that would be it. Then we'll go into more of the reset system. So once this timer actually goes through, it will hit this beloved system, powering and going to feed it into these blocks if they're not EMP'd, and going into the overall system to open up the doors. Easy as that, which would be right here. Now, a reset system. How do we reset that in detail? So, a reset system should be this fucking... Let me check it. Door reset. There we go. Let's follow this line down here. So this goes all the way over here. Going into this block, going into a beloved system, turning on this comparator through the redstone torch into that block, goes all the way down here, and opens up these doors. That actual door. That opens it up, it would close it. Yeah. And of course, I need to make sure I find this. Opening of those doors would just be after this is all done. So how this reset system works is that if this gets turned on, if this is active, it shoots this block back and it's delayed, so it would not have enough time to go through. But because it's delayed, once this turns off and shoots the piston back up, it would have enough time to put out a single output. So when this is actually holding for enough time, once it turns all the way off, then it'll shoot this block back and have an output. So it can hold it as long as I want. Then when it turns off, it'll output something, which would then go into the beloved system and open up the door. Then whenever I want to reset it, that purple line would go in here and shoot another output, which would close the door and bring this block back. Then do some entity shit or whatever the fuck. I have this little piston here, which just... I forget the word for it. Sometimes pistons just extend, like how that comparator was in that last video. The comparator held a redstone output even though there was nothing to feed it into that was feeding the cauldron to power the light. Sometimes, I got the word, you have to update something. this piston is a update piston, which if this does not like retract fully, this piston would have enough time delayed to then update it. And then next, so like how the EMP works, this would hold until those 10 seconds go by, and then it would use the same exact repeat system as shown on both of them, which would then just go up here and not using a non-sticky piston, just shove the block back down. And this little yellow shit that we use would, once this system goes off, then that would, once all this line turns off, then anything that's been EMP'd would be known, because this block would be over here, powering into this block up here, turning this on, allowing for any reset input to be activated through. So once this turns on and it sees that a block is right here from this piston, it'll activate, turning on the Belev system again, turning off the EMP line, and also pushing this block back down, deactivating the piston. And that's how the prep system and EMP would work together. I said a lot of it out of order because I'm just trying to find all of it. It took me I don't know how many hours it took me for that. Probably like an hour or two. It was a bit stressful. But really nice thing is this little system right here, which turns off when it's powered, but once this runs out, it's delayed enough to give an output. I don't know what it would be called, like an alternate output feed. Something weird. And that's all I really want to go over for today. This is the same video as, this is the same day for the comparator vid. So I'm going to go, probably be posted at the same time, or a little bit in between. Thank you guys for watching. Be safe.